Calculations use the current administration risk settings. By default, the new option is unchecked, no upgrade impact. The investment level risk impact and probability ratings get mapped to the higher value on the risk updates. Switching the option only impacts future calculations. Existing values are not automatically updated. To update or recalculate the mappings after switching the option, make a change to at least one detailed risk record in that category. The new option uses a rounding method to map the impact and probability ratings to the closest value. You will see the mappings of these values calculated as follows. For example number 1, using the flexibility category, with the option to round the calculation of impact and probability unchecked by default, the impact average of 1.5 is mapped to medium as it goes to the next higher value, and the probability average of 2.2 is mapped to high as this is the next higher value. Then, looking at the risk score matrix, find the impact mapped value of medium and the probability mapped value of high. The overall flexibility category rating is now mapped to high. Now, if the administrator checks the option to round the calculation of impact and probability, the user will have to update some field on at least one detailed risk in the flexibility category. After the record is updated, the impact average of 1.5 is still mapped to medium because the value is over 1.5, and by using the rounding method, this is the closest value. The probability average of 2.2 now mapped to medium instead of high. Because of the rounding method, it will map to the closest value. Then, looking at the risk score matrix, find the impact mapped value of medium and the probability updated mapped value of medium. The overall flexibility category rating is now mapped to medium. As you can see, the outcome of the overall flexibility category is lower or higher based on which option is being used. And the same can be seen for example number 2 of the funding category. In the demo server, the current administration risk settings is using the stock configuration where the new option is unchecked. For the purposes of my demonstration today, I've created 2 investments with identical detailed risk records. The scores of the investment level are mapped using that current configuration. Now I will update the setting and return to the list. And as you can see, the category scores are not automatically updated. Take note of the category scores, and you will see once I change one investment, it will change, but the other one won't. So I will go into this investment, and for each of the categories, I will update at least one record. And you can see the banner at the top where it says subtotals have changed. That's because it's doing its recalculation when you're using group by, and if there were any aggregations to be shown on the page. Now if I return to the project list, you will see now the risk score, the flexibility, funding, human interface, and implementation risk have all been changed because they are now mapped using that new rounding calculation method for the impact and probability scores. And then if you wanted to change the first one, you would go in and do the same steps. For any investment where you want to recalculate the scores, you'd have to update at least one record.